Very good. Is everything okay? Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you well. What about now? Please introduce yourself and tell us like how you started augmented reality journey.
Okay, so hey, I'm Faith Adewale. So I started my AR journey when I think I was 18. It's funny because I was watching the YouTube video. I was bored. I came back from school, and then it's a very funny story because you know Trump, right?
Sure. Sure.
I got into augmented reality because of Trump. So if you check YouTube and you search for augmented reality, there's a video of a guy holding a card,
Oh, I know,
and
right? Yeah.
and yeah, and Trump is on the card. So I was like, what is that? Like I was so curious. So I watched the video and I was mind blown. I thought it was magic because I was like, imagine you pick up a card and then you point your phone at it. It's called target tracking. So you point your phone at it and things come out, and I was like, this is crazy. So I kept digging into it, and eventually I was like, oh, I love this. And I think that was good for me because I didn't know you could make money from it. I was doing it because I wanted to make cool stuff. And then I did it for about a year. And then initially I started with Unity. So that was what I started with. So Unity, and then eventually I learned about something called Spark AR. So I was like, I can make Instagram filters. So I was like, I could. So the first thing I did, the first filter I made was because I have a friend, her name is Anne, and it was her birthday. And I was like, I want to do something cool for Anne. So I was trying to impress Anne. And then I made a filter, like a land tracking filter with a gift box. And then when she taps on it, the gift box opens, and then a picture of her came out of the box. I still have the filter, funny enough. So
If you can send this, we can input.
I will, yeah, I will. So I'll send you a video of it. So it was really cool, and she really loved it. So I was like, ah. And then every time I made a filter and I posted it to my friends, I was like, oh, this is cool. I didn't know we could make filters. So I kept on doing that, and we're here today.
What was the main reason that you jumped from Unity to Spark AR? Can you explain like more for beginner creators? What's the difference?
So the issue with Unity and a whole no, the issue with web AR in general, not just Unity. In web AR, you need to. I was broke. I was I was broke. So I had to pay to have my own app. I had to pay to subscribe to Vuforia. So it wasn't free before. I think now it's free. But when I started, there's something called Vuforia. That's what you use to make AR stuff. So web AR is very expensive. And if you don't have money, you can't do it. And I was like, oh shit, I don't have $100 to pay for this. So I was like, you know what? I had to, I would make stuff, but I wouldn't be able to use it because I didn't have the money to pay for it to use on my phone. So I found out about, and I was like, oh, they have to be alternatives. So I was Googling, and one day I stumbled on, you know what's funny? Spark AR wasn't called Spark AR before. It was called uh, AR Live something. There was a different name. It wasn't Spark AR. So that was what I knew it as. So I got into it and it was free. All I had to do was have a Facebook account. If you have a Facebook account, you can make a filter. So I kind of abandoned Unity because I was like, oh, I don't have the money for this yet. So I'm just going to focus all my energy on AR. And it was good because when you make a web AR filter, when you make a AR experience, you have to create an audience. You make your web AR experience, and then you have to look for your own audience and give it to them. So you're doing two things. You're, creating a platform, and then you're creating an audience. But with social AR, you have an audience already. Maybe you have 100 followers, 200 followers. You make a filter, you publish it. Instagram shows it to your friends, and it also shows it to strangers too. So like it's a no-brainer. I don't have to do the extra work. So it's you get more returns for your effort. So that was why I kind of switched to social media.
I understand. Like to jump on client side, whenever you are working and collaborating with someone. So can you just tell what's the perfect scenario while working with the client and the worst scenario? So what would you avoid?
Okay, so the perfect scenario. Okay, I finished a gig for Mr. Easy. He's one of the biggest musicians in Africa. Like he's super huge.
I've
So
seen that, and this music and this filter is
yeah. He was, yeah. So his team reached out to me and they had a whole deck. They knew exactly what they wanted. Like they didn't just know, they don't have an idea. They had a picture. They showed me a specific picture. Wait, let me show you. So you.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So I'll send you the image. But he came to me and they knew exactly what they wanted. They had the image. They had so when you come with that kind of concrete idea, I don't have to do the breaking down part. All I have to do is build what you want. That is the ideal client.
But is it interesting for you to build those kind of experiences where whenever you don't put your creative ideas there?
That's the thing. I did put my spin. So they thought they could only use one glasses. I ended up showing them we have variety. If you check the filter, there are 3 different options. Apart from that, I also told them, look, you can put a song in the filter. And you know what's good about it? Because I'm a Lens Studio creator. So Snapchat allows me to put a link inside my filter. And that was good because do you know why that's amazing? As a musician, you want people to listen to your song. And then the issue with music is when you hear a song, you have to go and look for the song and then you have to play it. But when you hear the song on the filter, the link is right there. Once you're using the filter, you just have to click on the link and it takes you directly to the song. And no one had ever done that before in Nigeria. So he's the first musician to do that in Nigeria. So that's the good thing. When you come with a good foundation, your creator can build on that for you. But then when you don't know what you want, first of all, we have to build a foundation. And then after building a foundation, we have to now start, putting on the layers. So I get what you mean. Like sometimes a creator wants to put their own part into it. But I think it's also important as a client to know what you want, like have a rudimentary idea, if you understand.
Yeah. What would you recommend to those clients who are stepping like the baby steps? They're newbies in augmented reality. They don't know how to choose which type of experience they want.
Some people want to make a filter, but it's not relevant to their field yet. So maybe sometimes in situations like that, what they have to do is you send them some samples. So, maybe you have a portfolio, maybe you have a website. What you're trying to do is you're trying to excite them. That's what you need. You need to show them that there's a potential in this. And that's what business is. I have to show you that what I'm doing for you has value for you. The same way I saw the card and I was excited. If they don't feel that magic, that it's not going anywhere. The idea isn't going anywhere. They have to want it as much as you want it. So you have to treat your clients like children. If you want to excite a child, what do? You show him an example. If you want a child to read your books, children do what they see other people doing. So if a child sees a mom reading a book, the child wants to read a book because the child thinks that's a cool thing to do. So if your client sees that, Nike has done this, Adidas has done this, Kanye West has done this. They feel like, if these good brands are doing this, that means there's something there. So, you could pick ideas from there, pick references from there and show them. And then you tell them test out this effect. Now, how do you think you want your customers to feel? How did you feel when you use this effect? And how do you want your customers to feel? And then when you can express a feeling, you can, pitch other things to them.
So we do have this question for clients on Crosscreators. And to say the truth, not many clients are able to write down this objective, what type of feeling they want to implement in their customers. So we're searching really new formula, how we can take all the information from the client, them to be able to receive good content from creative creators. So do you have any kind of idea on that?
To be honest, I don't know, because AR is very funny. You either like it or you don't. And then I feel like if the person doesn't like it, there's nothing you can do about it. Like they might want you to make a filter, but then if the person that wants the filter has not experienced a lot of AR, maybe what you need to do is make something called an excitement pack. I'm serious. I think this would work. Imagine if you had a series of filters. that are supposed to excite people. Like simple filters, maybe a face filter that maybe has like butterflies flying, and then maybe it has like you don't have to make it too noticeable, but the colors, you have colors, right? I think it's lilac and blue for Crosscreators. So I know something that excites them. Now, this filter pack, maybe you have 4 different filters: a face filter, image tracking filter, land tracking filter. Now, all these filters, you will call it your excitement pack. And then when someone comes to you, you send them these filters. You tell them, look, try these filters and let me know how you feel when you're done. The aim, when you're trying to do there, is you're telling them the aim of these filters was to excite anybody. Like, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make sure after they use these filters, they feel something. And that's what business is. As long as you can make people feel something, they'll pay you. That's the formula for business. Emotions sell products.
Well said. Well said. So, like, to talk about on the worst part while communicating with clients. So you told us that it might be a person who doesn't know exactly what they need, but maybe we can see an opportunity there. Like, do you work with those types of clients?
Oh yes, a lot. So there's a company in Nigeria called the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. So, and they're old people. Like, no offense, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. They didn't grow up with social media. And then I think what he did was a friend of mine introduced my work to him, and he was like, look, we had a conference coming up in Abuja. Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. So they had a big conference, and they were looking for new ways to, socialize with people, that kind of thing. And then my job was to come up with an idea that would solve it. But the issue is, I wasn't just trying to make a filter. I was also trying to pitch the whole idea to them. I had to explain what augmented reality was. I had to show them how it works. I had to show them, all those things. And I mean, it's good. But then, for someone like me, time is money for me. My time is my money. I guess the time I was using to do all that, I could be working on other stuff. But that was important to me because the money was worth it. Like, they're pretty big. So I was like, you know what? It's good. It's a good company. So I'll do it.
Depending how much they are paying.
Yeah. Look, see, sometimes, no offense, but like, you have to, if you don't value yourself, people will walk over you. You have to value what you make. So,
yeah.
Come on, you want to say something?
What's the main problem with newbies who haven't tried augmented reality? So they have like specific budgets, right? And whenever they are testing something out, they are not intended to put a lot of money yet.
I understand.
That's like a chicken and egg problem, and how to make them believe in this magic. That's our job.
Sure.
And like, how would you explain to those who are afraid to put specific amount of money in magic, augmented reality experiences?
Sure. So I don't have a specific answer to that, but I can use the case, the NESG case, for example. So what I did for them was, he told me, look, we have the budget, but you have to prove to us that this is worth it. If you can prove to us, we'll give you the gig. So what I did was, I think people believe in numbers. People believe it. If you can show numbers, like if you say, oh, this was a previous gig. So I have a filter on Snapchat that has about, I think, 50 million impressions. And that's not a small number. If you in marketing, you only need 10% of your audience to interact with that's a good rollover. If 10% of your audience can interact, you'll make money. And then the people they were trying to reach out to were younger people. And I was like, look, wait, I might be able to even maybe share my screen, but maybe later. But the point is, this gives you data. Most of these augmented reality platforms, you can tell, how old. And for your business, this is very important, because if you know the people using a product, you know who to target better. So I showed him these numbers. I showed him previous works. And then I think what really got him into it was he used the filter too, and he enjoyed it. So that's what I was saying. Like if the person can actually get excited by what you're making, because his thought was, if I am enjoying this, then people like me are going to enjoy this too. So that was how I ended up sorting that up. So I don't have an answer for that problem, but maybe someone else out there might be able to try this too, make a demo, show them your impressions, show them your numbers, and go from there.
Yeah, some of the marketing demand to show like how much sales were boosted after these specific experiences. And we don't have this analytics on social media, right?
Yeah, true.
But the benefit of web AR might be whenever you do have the specific project, like you can put money there and you can have this analytics as well.
Yeah, you can tell, true. And that's a good point, because what you just said, in web AR, when you make like an AR experience, people can buy instantly. And then you can make, maybe like you said, some people have a small budget. So let's say you spend that small budget. If it does well, you invest more. If it doesn't, you kill the project. So, and for example, Lens, Snapchat, they're really pushing the online shopping. They have it's nuts. You can try virtual jackets, virtual glasses, virtual clothes. It, as a creator, that excites you because you have I have things to pitch to people. So when someone tells me I want to make a filter, the first thing that comes to my head is Lens, because they have the best technology. And then when you give people the best, they come back. So I always prefer to pitch that, but good.
Yeah. So now I know that your favorite platform is Snap. But can you just tell us, what is your dream experience you to build? Like you haven't done before, but you're...
that I want to make? Oh, okay. So I'm currently working on something. So I haven't really had time for personal projects, but I'm taking some time because I want to make something really cool for myself. So I'm trying to make an experience that, when I said you need to make people feel something, I saw a Disney ad where they made a cartoon, an augmented reality cartoon. It's 8 seconds, but you point your phone at your TV. Absolutely. And then a waterfall comes out. And I was like, So I want to make a small cartoon in augmented reality. You have characters, you have audio. I think that's the future of entertainment. Mm-hmm. It's going to be you're sitting down, you put on your glasses, and you can see, you can watch stuff. And then the things you're watching can interact with your environment. So I'm currently working on that. And it takes time because I have to also work on other projects. But when I'm free, or maybe when I'm not in school, so I just take my time, do all that stuff. And when it's done, I'll show you.
Of course. And we have to meet soon.
Yeah, we see it. So definitely.
Many creators are telling me that whenever they have a lot of projects ongoing and they are working for clients, they somehow are losing their creativity. So do you have this kind of problem, and how you're avoiding this? Where you find your creative
my inspiration, so to say. Yeah. So I don't know. I've never been in a creative block. My issue is I have a lot of ideas, but I don't have enough time to. So I think I have the opposite problem. I have too many ideas, and I'll tell you why. So last week I was watching a cartoon. It's called Cyberpunk 27, and I saw this dude. When he runs, he leaves images of himself. I'm like, oh damn, I have to make a filter of that.
Cool. It will be so cool.
Yeah, I made the filter. So I have ideas everywhere. There's always, I think maybe sometimes I'm talking to my friend and they're like, oh, I wish this could happen. And then because I have my pet robot, he has this thing. But you might not be able to see him, but can you see this? Can you see this?
I've seen it in your stories.
Can you see his eyes?
Cute.
Yeah. Do you see the eyes? I want to make a filter that gives people electronic leashes eyes and stuff like that. It's very expressive. So I don't think that's a problem for me, because I think if you're in tune with life, if you actually pay attention, there's a lot of inspiration around us. Well, sometimes when you lock yourself out of, the world, maybe you're in a closed place for too long, you might lose your inspiration. But if you actually pay attention to the world around you, there's so much inspiration, there's so much to do. So
that's great. So, like, to sum up our talk, like, we want to know your idea about future of augmented reality marketing.
Okay, so I think the future of AR marketing is people sharing experiences. And I'll give you an example. So let's say, you go to the shop, you want to buy a dress. Imagine if you could send me a 3D model of that dress so I could see, like you can send me a picture, but a picture is a flat image. But then in the future, we're going to be able to actually it's called spatial orienting. So spatial means surrounding. We'll be able to take whole volumetric scans and then take it to other places. And it's not so far into the future. I think right now, people are working on stuff like that. And then that'll be important for marketing because imagine how many times you wanted to buy something, but you were not sure if it was good for you. If you could send a full volumetric scan to your friend, oh, that would look amazing on you. You should get that. Imagine how many...
And also you can send the direct video or experience whenever you are just trying this.
Exactly. And then think about it like this. People will never have to leave their houses again to shop. Right now, you could just put your phone somewhere, stand in front of a camera, and you can try on different... It's not perfect yet. I don't really like how it is now. It's a bit wonky, but I believe in small steps. Eventually, we're going to get to the stage where we have near identical quality to real life models. And this is very important because when we get to that stage, business will boom. You don't have to have a shop. Imagine you're a designer. You don't have money to rent a shop at the mall. But you open a website, you put web AR in it. People just stand in front of their phones. You're saving costs. You don't have to spend money on rent of the shop. Maybe you pay a couple $1,000s. You have a good website. And then that's all you have to spend money on. And then because people don't have to walk, they don't have to stress themselves to buy your product, you're cutting down on losses. You're cutting down on wasted, impressions. And then you can get more rollovers. You can make more money. So for marketing, I think AR is going to really skyrocket it. So, it's going to take some time, but we'll get there.
Yeah. And for the last sentence, what would you say to those who are afraid to try augmented reality? In one sentence, how you can make them want augmented reality?
You're missing out on magic. You're missing out on magic. See, because in my head, AR is magic. It's the very first time I saw it, and now I still think it's magic. So, and that's the thing about magic. If you don't watch it, if you don't experience it, you might not feel it. But if you actually give yourself an opportunity to be engrossed in it, you'll be like, oh, how did he do that? How did that happen? And then that excitement, it keeps you vital. It keeps you awake. It keeps you, happy. And yeah, so if you're not trying AR, I think you're losing out on a magical experience.
Well said.
Thank you very much.
I am so pleased you having in this call. As always, you are so interested, so creative.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
So when we meet each other, thank you so much.
Take care. Have fun. Have an amazing day.
You too. Yeah.
Wait, chill. Let me take a snap.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready? Oh no, do the hot thing again. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Take care. Bye. Have an amazing time.
Bye. You too.
Bye.